many people that struggle with the issue of adoption or failed adoptions or infertility or just an expectation of what their family life will look like and then seeing that it doesn't come to fruition. So the question would be, how do you handle that? How do you deal with the loss and the grief or the unmet expectations? And I think that's really where it drives us back to the sovereignty of God, and that God knew us before time began. He knew our story. Nothing surprises him. So I might be disappointed over a child I wasn't able to adopt, or over how my family developed or didn't develop. But I go back and I think, you know, none of this surprised God. He knew this. He knew my story. He knew every detail of my story. And though I'm disappointed and surprised by parts of it, he's not. One thing I often tell to my children, and we have 4 adopted children, are that God knew what our family was going to look like. We didn't know, but God knew. And he knew who was going to be in our family. He knew when they were going to come, and he had a particular plan for our family. And all we can do is wait and see what God's going to do and look forward to the future with expectation. In the last year, our family had a little baby come to us as a little foster baby. And quickly it became clear that this baby was going to go up for adoption. So very quickly we became interested and began pursuing that as an option. And it didn't work out. God had other plans, and the baby ended up being adopted to another home. So this was particularly challenging, not only for us to see God's hand in it, but also to be able to tell our children God knew what he was doing. And there was a great example where not only did we have to trust that God knew what he was doing, but we had to model that to our kids and say, this didn't surprise God. God knows who's going to be in our family and who isn't, even when we don't always know. And at the end of the day, we've got to trust that God is good, and God is going to do what's best for us and that little baby. So let's celebrate that God is taking care of us and God is taking care of this baby. But that doesn't mean that there isn't also a sadness attached. But ultimately, it drives us back to saying it's in God that we've got to choose to trust.